Hi guys. Hi. Just trying to go live on Instagram. How are you? Um Happy, what day is it today? Wednesday. Hey, I'm losing all days. Just so me. I hope you guys are doing great. We are what? I keep losing like the date as well. It's such a mess. We are 24 days into 2024. Oh, it's 24/01/24. I actually didn't think about that. Very interesting. And I was just saying to a friend of mine earlier that 24 days in, and so many things have happened in such a short space of time in the beginning of this year that I'm still trying to understand, okay, uh, you know, what is going on. Like, this is going to be a crazy year. But I'm going to get straight into the topic tonight. Let me just grab my tea. My comments are working, don't worry. I assume today was Thursday right up until now. Girl, I'm having a hard time. Okay, I am having such a hard time. I can't even really see who that is, but I'm having such a hard time because this week, I think last week was a very rough week for me. The beginning of the year, like, things just got crazy. This week has been a little slower, but I don't sleep well. Before I get into the topic, since being in Cape Town, I don't sleep well. The wind is really strong and loud. You can hear how noisy my room is. I don't do well with loud sounds. And this is so I have very sensitive hearing because my nervous system is always activated with sound, right? This is a trauma development in my body. So when the wind is loud, hey guys, I can't sleep. I struggle. I've been putting tissues in my ears until I can afford plugs. I sleep with it in my ears because I cannot get sound sleep, but that's besides the point. I'll be having a good Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'm not going to do live tomorrow night because my YouTube video is going up. Please follow and sign up. Subscribe. Hey, my English bundles is also finished. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Fill the Gap MJ, because I go into other similar topics but a little deeper. If you're watching from Facebook, welcome on my Facebook page. I am officially closing down my Facebook personal page. So if people from the page that they're watching now is on my personal page, please recognize that I will no longer be posting on my personal Facebook page. It's too much to manage and I need to simplify my life. And it's part of taking care of myself. Like I said the other day, I delayed these lives because I needed to take care of myself. So let's not get off the topic. I haven't slept last night, but I'm dedicated to doing this. So I want to give you concise information. So we're going to talk about gaslighting tonight. I know y'all have heard this term 1,000 times. There are movies now, films called Gaslight. Me and my friend were looking at them this afternoon, and I was like, I haven't watched the Gaslight one. I've watched a lot of shows with this gaslighting, but it was perfect that we spoke about it this afternoon because the analogy I want to start with is a film. So I really love psychological thrillers. I don't do horrors, but I love psychological thrillers, especially the ones who have like a crazy twist at the end. You know, the one that with the twist that you do not see coming, and then like, and you're an hour and a half in, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like what the heck is happening? I have a long list of those movies that I absolutely love, right? But that is exactly what gaslighting is. Someone is trying to manipulate you in a few ways. Number one, they make you believe that everything you see, I'm just putting my tea down because it's really hot. Everything you see as happening is crazy, right? They make you believe you're crazy, that you're seeing things wrong. They outright lie, like lie directly to your face without considering that there's a consequence, or they coerce you. So those are the three different ways. Now I'm going to explain the three different ways so that you can identify them. And the reason I want people to know this is because you can actually be gaslit by anyone. Since I became very aware of what it was, it's very easy to recognize when someone's trying to gaslight me. I literally had an experience like that end of November, was it? Yes, end of November, with someone that I was supposed to do a photography shoot with, who had been leading me on for a very long time that we were going to shoot. But the first time we shot, I was never paid. And then they offered me some help when I needed help. And then when it was time for us to shoot and they were supposed to pay me a deposit, they literally said to me, yeah, but I helped you. In my mind the whole time, this was how the relationship, friendship was going. And actually, no, they were using me for something else. So when we talk about gaslighting, it's a form of manipulation to kind of confuse you or to throw you off. So essentially what happens is there's this narrative going on the whole time that you are aware of, that you think is happening. But the truth of it is that's not actually what's going on. And then when you bring it up, the person makes you believe you're crazy. So if I go specifically to narcissistic abuse cases, what tends to happen is you see something weird, your partner's doing something weird, or the person you're in friendship or relationship with is doing something weird, and then you're like, are you doing this? Let's use cheating as an example. I saw that there's a Facebook message, or you got a text message on your phone from a woman. Is this what I... And then, like, you're clearly sure that something is happening, right? And their first reaction is, no, you're just imagining things. You're seeing things. That's not really what's going on. You're just making up things in your head. And then they take another step. You're just insecure. What is your problem? Why do you have so much insecurities? It becomes so much about beating you up and never addressing what's actually going on. I've seen this happen so many times, and most people don't even know what's happening to them. And then they just like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. The problem with gaslighting is if it happens to you for a very long time, you can really battle to differentiate between what's real and what isn't. So I'm going to give you a personal example for what happened in my brain after the fact, right? I've been so adjusted to gaslighting for such a long time that maybe it was a year ago, someone played a prank on me. And because I hadn't settled between reality and what is in reality and what people told me and what I believed, I lost my mind. I had a lot of PTSD symptoms. I lost my mind because my nervous system freaked out. This person was literally just playing with me, kept moving things, and I thought, no, I put the thing there. Then they'd laugh, and then they'd move it again. They did that repeatedly until when I found out what they were doing, I lost it on them. And I felt so bad because it wasn't a reaction I wanted to have. But because I was so used to being confused often, and things literally being moved. Like, imagine you come home from work and you put your bag in a place. You go to the kitchen, you come back and you look for your bag and it's not there. The only person that was in the room, you're asking, where's your bag? And they're saying, no, you're crazy. Your bag was never there. You never brought your bag in. Maybe you lost it. And then you find out later that this person actually moved it. They do that thing to you every day, all day, for years and years and years. By the end of that time, you feel like a psychopath. You literally feel like a psychopath. It's very difficult for me to explain what happens in your mind when that happens to you continuously, right? So the gaslighting part is when they're telling you you're crazy. There are instances where I've seen people who were told to take medications because that there was something wrong with them, when essentially the person who was manipulating them was trying to coerce them into taking the medication, right? By coercion, I mean it's not forcing. It's like you are slowly trying to convince someone why they need something that they don't actually need, because you are making them believe something about themselves that isn't true. That is what makes gaslighting so dangerous. We talk about it very lightly, and I see on social media and online people talk about it very lightly, but it's actually really, really dangerous because it completely warps reality for you. You can see things in such a warped way based on someone else convincing you of something that's never happened, or that is actually true. This is dangerous in instances where something big happens. So if you're in a physical altercation with someone and the person pushes you and hits you, and then you end up going to open a case or something, and they come to the cops and say, no, I never did anything, this person is crazy, and then says to you, you're imagining this didn't happen, are you sure you didn't dream about this? Gaslit you so hard that you step back off doing those things. In abusive relationships, this is dangerous because it gets used on you all the time. Your version of reality gets twisted at your abuser's will. And you trust them so much that you can literally believe everything they say to you. And for someone like me, you think I wouldn't get caught like that. I think some of us think we are too pedantic, right? We ask too many questions. Like when someone goes somewhere and they're spending time with family or friends and they come back, you are asking them, oh, so how was the event? What happened? What conversations did you have? What was in the conversations? When the whole time you don't realize those entire conversations could be made up. Now, I'm not telling you to be paranoid, but I'm telling you to be aware that the way you experience something cannot be erased because someone else is telling you that's not what happened. Right? There's no way it can be erased because that person's denying your entire reality. That can happen to you so much that you don't even believe the decisions that you make about your life. I watched a YouTube video this afternoon on Hardly Initiated. And this lady was talking about what it was like to get married. She ran away and got married, got divorced, dating after marriage. And she was very particular not to mention events that happened in the marriage, but there were nuances in her conversation that made it very clear that she was being treated in a very abusive way in her marriage. She didn't have to say all of the details. I mean, okay, maybe I speak to enough people where I can recognize this, right? But one of the things she was talking about was around someone warping reality for you, so much so that you start to believe what it is they're saying. It's you know, when you think about, when you watch it in movies, you're just like, how did that person even believe that for a long time? Because we can see what's actually happening, but you're living like that every single day, and because you can't see through it, you just continue to do it. Now, I had someone ask me an inbox question yesterday that if manipulators actually know if they are being manipulative. And that is a case-by-case situation, in my opinion. And the reason why is you can't make someone, like I said yesterday, you can't change the way someone behaves, but you can remove yourself from a situation and watch the response, and the response will tell you what happens. When someone is trying to gaslight you and you put your foot down and say, no, this is actually what happens, they get angry with you. Because at the end of the day, they want you to take on the narrative that they're telling you to believe. And you know, this sounds mild the way that I'm saying it, but it can actually be the craziest scenarios. There are stories about murders, if you Google murder mysteries, where someone was coerced into being a what do they call it? Someone who helps. I don't know what it's called. Maybe someone can let me know on Instagram. Where someone can actually be a part of the so-called murder just based on the fact that they were manipulated to believe that what happened actually didn't happen. I actually know someone who passed away, I think year before last, who was in jail for 13 years for murder. And he never actually committed the murder. But his friends got to the point where they had convinced him that he was part of this. They can actually plant memories for you. Make you, give you entire new memories of the event that happened. And these people are skilled at doing stuff like this. This is why we need to be careful to take on the ideas other people give us and completely deny our own personal experiences. This is the only reason why I'm so vocal, why I talk about the things that I talk about, why I'm very, very honest and open about some of my experiences, because I've gotten to the point where I will no longer let anyone tell me what happened, didn't happen. I was there. I saw, I experienced, my body still remembers every single one of those events. But someone can gaslight you so much that you completely forget who you are, why you're even there, what you're doing. And for the most part, you could get pulled into crimes you didn't even know existed in your home. It's very, very dangerous. So I'm talking about this because I want people to do some more research on it. As you can tell, I'm a little bit tired, so I'm a little bit sparse, just gonna be honest. And also because, to be very honest, let me just be very, very honest. This topic makes me feel some type of way. Because every time I talk about gaslighting, I have a physical experience in my body about how it felt when my reality was being denied. Sitting in a doctor's office and being told that you may have depression, and then being told you're crazy, that you need to go on medication when nothing is actually wrong with you. You're just living under a lot of tension, kind of sticks with you, right? And it doesn't only happen in relationships, it happens in family circles, I think, more than anything else. I think my generation, are the most gaslit generation. And the reason why is every emotion that we had as a child was essentially dismissed because our feelings weren't important. There were instances in childhood that I know for myself and for my friends and for people that I know where we came to the people we trusted and the people who we were supposed to be safe with and told them that we had an experience, and they literally said to us, you're probably imagining it. I've actually had a very specific instance with a memory that I have, and I had someone in leadership say to me, yeah, I must just be imagining what happened to me. When I was having nightmares about this thing, like it was living in my body. I know so many people that this has happened to, and I think our generation is the most affected by it because our personhood, oh, that person's steps is very hard. Our personhood was basically denied when we were younger. And even when we get older, to the people who are raised us, even as we are as adults, we are still treated as children. So our position, our feelings, our ideas, our thoughts, even our career choices. You can work in a full-day office job and still be told you don't have a real job. And if you are in close proximity to that person, they can make you believe so much that you don't have a real job that you end up doing what they want you to do. Simply because you want to keep them pleased and you want to keep the peace and you keep denying yourself. So I hope that helped a little bit. I don't know if anyone, I'm just checking on Instagram. The guest of honor has arrived, Claudia. Okay, Claudia. You guys can comment on the video. I'm going to repost it. I'm not going to talk too much today. I'm going to do a proper live on Friday. Do some research on gaslighting and why it's important to know what it is. I think in the colored community, it is the most manipulative tool. Colored children in particular are denied their feelings and their emotions and their reality. They are experiencing things on a daily basis that are completely being dismissed. One of the reasons why sexual abuse is so rife in our country is because most sexual abuse survivors experiences completely get dismissed, and it doesn't only get dismissed in their families, it gets dismissed by the law. The court is really, really good with doing this because they just want to get rid of you. I know so many sexual abuse survivors who will never get justice based on their family and how the law treats victims. They literally tell you, are you sure you're saying the truth? Are you sure this is actually what happened? Because some of it to us doesn't make some sense. So you sure you're not making up some details of the story? Do you know how traumatic that is for a sexual abuse survivor to have to go through the police? They do that to you. Which re-traumatizes you. Then you try to go to counseling in church. This happens in church. Then you try to speak to family, and that happens in church. Sexual abuse survivors generally don't report their sexual abuse, specifically because the re-traumatizing part is something they don't want to have to deal with again. You're sitting there and being told your reality must be wrong, especially when you're dealing with affluent families. Your entire reality is being denied. So you can't get justice. That's why some of the stories that I hear online about celebrities or people who accuse celebrities of sexual abuse, I keep quiet for a long time. Because a celebrity has enough money to make sure the attorney can gaslight you so much that you step back. They will shut you up. And then those people silently die because the entire system has been funded to gaslight that person's reality. I don't wonder anymore why a society, especially South Africa and Africa as a whole, is doing as badly as it is. It's not a surprise to me anymore, because we are actually funding all of the things that destroy human beings one bit at a time. We are financially feeding it. We throw money into the things that make sure that the fabric of the human design is being destroyed. And when people like me speak up, because it's too serious, because it's not funny, it's not TikTok comedian stuff, it's not it's too personal. People like us don't get hurt, and the people who are suffering suffer further because we rather choose to run away than actually deal with the true issues that we're dealing with. It's 30 years of democracy this year. I really hope we get to a stage where we actually start dealing with some of this stuff. We cannot allow a government, a presidency, a law enforcement, the court system, all of those fundamental divisions in the country to gaslight its people anymore. This is what we're experiencing with ANC. I don't like to talk about politics, but if you really think about it, this is what we've been experiencing with the ANC for the last 30 years. An entire country is continually being told, no, you're seeing things. That's not actually what's happening. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it on that note. So I hope this information is valuable. I know I'm really low energy today, but I am excited to see you guys on Friday. Please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need this information to get out to everyone. I'm giving as much information as I can for free for a reason. This is not about me. This is about the woman who doesn't have access to resources or information and doesn't have the ability to read up on this stuff because her phone is being monitored by her partner. Y'all don't understand how serious this gets. You'll have no idea how serious this gets. I'm hoping a friend of a friend of a friend, because at the end of the day, every single one of these videos is a little piece of information that will help somebody get to where they need to get and also save someone's life. We can't keep ignoring how big this issue is in our country now. We cannot. Because then we are doing exactly what the ANC is doing and closing our eyes and running away. It may not be your issue, but it may be someone in your circle's issue. These videos are not able to be shared on Instagram. I'm not sure why. I will repost it again though. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys so much. My YouTube video tomorrow night, what is it about? I don't remember. I shot a lot of YouTube videos, but there'll be a lot going up. This is also live on YouTube, so you can rewatch it there if you need to. But I hope you guys have a beautiful Wednesday evening, and check me out on my Facebook page and on Instagram.